My humble respect to Guru Mahan, Guru Piran Sivasangkaran, Guru Piranyo, fellow Jnanis. Today I'm going to cover Mahan's chapter 14 in the I God book, which is respect and reverence, right? And we covered, world peace and a number of things from chapter 1 onwards on, what the universe is, what life is, and what this spiritual journey is. And now we come down to actual way of life. How do we have respect for ourselves, for the people around us, nature, and the things, and everything that walks into our heart, our mind, into our life, right? So how do we honor it? How do we really create tremendous value for everything that what we call life is, right? So I want to cover this, both two aspects of respect and reverence. They are very interrelated. And if you understand the true meaning of it, you see that key value of having respect for oneself and others and nature and others, and having full reverence for them really can be very transformative. It could really change the way we look at our own lives and the lives of others. So here, but what do we mean by respect? Sometimes we think we know what it is respect, but we don't go to the full extent of what respect actually truly means. So what do we mean by respect? Right? So let's break it down and then think about it a little bit more deeper, introspect these two words and see how we can, it becomes part of our vocabulary and it creates full value for us and the people around us and the broader community. So what do we mean by respect? At least from an ordinary person will look at, and then we'll take it from a more spiritual perspective. So if you see, respect actually is a feeling of deep admiration for someone, a great saint, a great scientist, a great football player, or someone that a teacher or a guru or even our own family members, right? So having that deep admiration and also something that has certain attributes and certain qualities that gives us that the sense of awness and a sense of wow, the achievements and and it's a feeling, a wish, kind of a something that we see in people and others that we say, wow, we have full respect. Now, one of the things that we see is that, for most people, they have that respect, and over time it increases or it decreases, right? The same thing, if you see that when we mean by respect from a spiritual perspective, is that we see that respect essentially first starts with oneself, right? When one has when we say admiration of someone, we think it's external, which is okay. In the first instance that we see someone, a guru or a scientist or a football player or someone that we have, wow, we've got so much respect. But that respect is an external respect. But it happens within ourselves, right? Though it is about external, it's taking its imprinting in us. And it must make a transformative change in us, right? So if one has so much respect for a scientist and it's imprinted in us and we're constantly thinking about them and constantly, you see that slowly it starts transforming you to being that. The same thing as a guru or a philanthropist or somebody, football player or someone that we think about, and as you think deeply, it becomes part of our thoughts. It becomes part of our spoken words. It becomes part of our actions. Ultimately, you see that our thoughts, our speech, Our actions transforms us to become that, right? In that same way, we see that if we have respect for negative things, people who are destructive and so on, and if that becomes very deepened, we see that that too will manifest. So it depends on very much on what we respect or the things that invokes the feelings in us. You know, if we have respect for things and people that invoke inspirational, positive, expanding thoughts, feelings, experiences, you see that our lives become that. What we think is what we become. So I was inspired by Mahan, in my early years, and I'm carrying his message. I was inspired by scientists, and I transformed to become a scientist. So what we think, if I deeply thought about being a footballer, I probably end up being maybe a footballer, maybe not as successful as something else that I would have done. So that respect starts, whatever that respect outside, when you internalize it, and it can have a transformative impact if we deeply introspect it, contemplate, reflect, and meditate upon it. It becomes part of our DNA, right? And that's what Swamiji speaks about in this chapter, right? So for me, respect, I thought this was very nice description of what I was thinking about. Respect starts with us, with you. What does respect means? It means taking responsibility for everything that comes through our mind, our thoughts, that we transform that thoughts into speech and actions, right? So we take full responsibilities for everything that we think, we do, we speak, and our actions. That's what respect is. So which means that we carry ourselves in the best possible way with excellence. Is how we want to experience the best, the excellence. That's what we expect that we would do for others. We take responsibilities for ourselves, but we also take responsibilities, for the broader responsibilities that we have as, not only for ourselves, but the things that we do that may impact other people, other things, society, and nature itself, right? Whatever we do, we need to be fully conscious of what our responsibility is. In that context, we see that, if we know what all the things that we do and how it impacts us and the people around us, we see that we, in that deep spiritual, introspective mindset, we will give our best. So in Sanskrit, the word is called sarvadakshina. We give par excellence. We give our best. We think about it very carefully. We research on it. We go deep in it to really understand the essence of it. That's what respect is. So which means that in our lives, we take full responsibilities for ourselves, but we also give our best. And the third aspect of respect is about self-control. And this is very important. This is discipline, right? So part of respecting ourselves and the things around us is about, self-discipline, self-control, right? Sometimes the human mind has so much cravings and so much desires. The way to overcome that is actually to demonize that desires, have full understanding, have that fulfillment of that understanding, and become transcendental to it. So the self-control is very important as part of the respect. Part of the other aspect of respect is being always polite and gentle and graceful, right? The politeness is very important because you don't want to hurt anyone. You may disagree. You may have difference of opinion, but be kind, be polite. That's part of being respect, right? The other aspect of respect is also having empathy. There are times that we make mistakes. There are times that we screw up royally. We have to have empathy for ourselves. It's okay, never mind. We failed this time, let's give it a go. Not totally very critical of ourselves and really bring us down. In that same way as that empathy to ourselves, we also need to be empathetic to others who have difficulties in their lives, have, challenges, and how we can help them. Part of the empathy is to assist them and help them in the way as best as we can. The third aspect of respect is, the other aspect of respect is actually cooperation, right? We are social beings. We have a symbiotic relationship with nature, with everything around us, the people, the planet, the animals, the plants. We have to work in cooperation to have sustainable development. We have to cooperate with others to ensure that, our needs and other people's needs and the needs of the planet is looked after. So part of that respect is that if we don't respect other people and the things around us, it tells us a lot about the self-respect that we have. And finally, respect also comes with trust. Right? And trust, we need to be able to trust, ourselves first, and the trust with the people that we have full respect on, our gurus, our teachers, the people that look after the things around us to keep us comfortable and others comfortable. So the respect that I'm talking about is not just a kind of a loose word, it is loaded with many things of having responsibilities, having the excellence, giving your best in everything that you do, having the self-control and discipline, being polite and graceful and kind, being empathetic to people's needs, working with others, cooperating, and finally having trust. And that is what, having that respect is. One of the things that I had respect for my guru is that I had full trust in his words. I had full, the moment the diksha or initiation or the knowledge was given, I took full responsibility for it, and gave my best. There are times that you get pulled in different directions. You've got to have the discipline. Or there are times that you say, tomorrow I can meditate, like today I can give it a go. And, and you see that one day pass, 2 day pass, slowly, you kind of, what the diksha, the guru gives you, slowly wanes away. You don't, you start losing that touch, right? And slowly you see that, you lose that, the knowledge that the guru has given. So respect carries, many things in this context: respect for the guru, respect for nature, respect for family, respect for ourselves. So again, it's got very deep meaning for, so it's not a loose. Sometimes people have false respect, they have it for a short while and then it disappears, or they have respect for something that they're expecting, and once they get it, they would not, the mindset changes. So you also have that, many times that you have that false respect. They respect things for, something that is not eternal, permanent, and spiritual. So it's just very fleeting. In that same way, we see that there's a strong link between respect and reverence. So here again, the meaning of reverence means having deep respect for someone and something. It's much more deeper, having that reverence, that closeness, that oneness, and it's tied to deep, having the deep respect, but it's that more, oneness that one sees with a person or something that they have experienced. So again, very close. And there are many ways of describing this. When you have respect and when you have the reverence, it's like that. that inspirational, spiritual, is coated with that glowing aura of that spiritual awesomeness. You see, so again, we see that sometimes we have reverence for our spiritual work, our guru's teachings, and so on. It's a much more deeper, and it's got this aura. And there are some really interesting perspective of reverence, we revere something. It's like having that. I like this quote which says that it has this profound awe. You're just in amazement, right? The wowness comes out, and the deep respect and that unconditional love. It's something that just happens. As Swami says that summa irkum sugam, the awesome beauty that is this natural in everything, right? And one gets these words become magnified when you get deeper and deeper in your meditation. You feel that, oh man, you feel so the respect is there, the reverence for things that you do just overflows. And that reverence is beautifully captured by this word, this quote by David McKay, who says, "A reverence is the most sublime attribute of the human soul." It's just being one with that soul force that is the one that manifests that universality, the creativity, the wonderness. And when the mind touches that soul, it gets that sublime feeling in the experience of that, the ecstasy of that universality and that awesomeness and that inspiration. And oftentimes one who's practicing meditation deeply, after meditation, they feel this feeling that, the reverence of life, the reverence of that vibration, the Bhagavan's Gita. And when they come out of the meditation, you see that everything percolates with the reverence, from everything that you do in your life, the moment you wake up, what you read, what you do, what you speak, has that beautiful, vibration of the divinity that resonates across the full day and in your life. So if you do it every day, you see that you start revering your life better, you start appreciating your life better, you have a lot more respect every day for who you are, what you are, and the things around you. And in that process of spiritual osmosis, you also have that reverence and respect for your partners, your family members, the neighbors, the community, and life itself. So that awesomeness is there. It was quite interesting. Just before this talk, this satsang, I was at a forum on planetary health, the state of our environment. And the United Nations just released a report today on the state of the planet, and it is not looking good at all, right? And the level of pollution, the level of misery, poverty is really bad. And the discussion was that where did we go wrong as human beings? Because the future depends on what we do today. And clearly we see that this word that humanity over the many years, hundreds of years, in the name of development, has lost its respect for nature and the things within nature. It's lost its reverence to nature and the things within nature. And in that process, because of that loss of respect and reverence for nature, today humanity is suffering. We see that, pollution, many people are, having asthma and other diseases. We're starting to see the emergence of zoonotic diseases. Of course, COVID is one of them. It's caused so much misery and it's still there. And there's potential for future, zoonotic diseases. So when we lose respect and reverence to nature, nature too reacts. And when we learn to take care of nature and the people around us, we see that the responses positive, and inspirational. So it starts with us. When we do not respect ourselves and we do not have reverence to our lives, we see that whatever we don't become accountable to what we do. But the day we have respect and reverence, you see that that quality of responsibility, excellence, self-control, politeness, empathy, cooperation, and trust, starts magnifying. And you see that life becomes an awesome journey. Sandosham. This is the message of Mahan, actually. He says that that respect and reverence must be core to our DNA and percolate in every facet of our lives. If it doesn't, we see that our life becomes meaningless. If we are able to catch that wind of that, inner vibration, you see that our life becomes an awesome journey. So this is the message that Swamiji was trying to convey to everybody. Those who meditate deeply and think about this deeply will feel that vibration of respect and reverence to oneself and the nature around us. Sandosham.